Today, I give this final discourse to the nations of this Saha world, to the civilized nations. What does a final discourse mean? After I finish this teaching today, I will no longer speak on the affairs of various nations, including the internal and external politics of the United States, Europe, and China. Because when it comes to politics, at the root, the existence and progress of the world depend on it. Without political forms, without this political structure, the world would return to a primitive society. So today, this final discourse I give to them is spoken out of compassion. It is not about loyalty. I am not doing this out of loyalty to anyone. This is a compassionate discourse. You can believe whatever you wish, whatever you have faith in. That is your own matter. I will not interfere. But when it comes to the well-being of humanity, during the years that I, Monk Dishen, am still alive, or after I pass away, for a long period of time, this world should have the blessings brought by the wisdom and compassion I have brought. All right, let me ask you a question first. Fatong, tell me, how many drug dealers are there in the world?
Amitabha, Shifu. Do you mean people who sell drugs? There are many.
Why?
Because there is profit in it. They can make huge profits.
No. The dealer profits. What about those who take drugs? Why do they do it? Put it this way. The profit comes from those who take the drugs.
Yes, Shifu.
Since the profit comes from them, why do we still call it poison? The whole world calls it poison. Why?
Because they can't quit, and it harms people.
It is called poison because it is harmful to the human body. What people take are drugs, but in truth, they are a kind of poison. It's not about whether it can be banned. If it were good for people, then not being able to ban it would be a good thing, right? Being addicted would even be a good thing.
Yes, that's why I said they can't quit. They can't control it.
If it were really good for you, then the more you couldn't stop, the better it would be, right? In the end, it is called poison because it is harmful.
Yes, Shifu.
You know it harms the body, yet even knowing that, you have no way to remove that harm, right?
Yes, Shifu.
What is this called?
Is this what we call poison, Shifu?
This is called addiction. Do you understand?
Yes, Shifu.
How does this addiction arise? It is a very strong addiction. Once you take in something that harms you, even knowing it is harmful, you will still keep going back to it, and you cannot pull yourself out. Why do you harm yourself? Because of this drug. You will still destroy yourself. I don't care. I would rather die. I still want it. Isn't that so?
Yes, Shifu.
That is why we call it poison. So how does this poison show itself in a person? Tell me.
I'm not entirely sure, Shifu. Does it make people lose weight and damage their health?
It causes the body's resistance and functions to weaken again and again, until in the end, death. This ultimate death is an unnatural one. It means instead of living to 100, you die at 20. Do you understand?
Yes, I understand, Shifu.
Why is it harmful? It shows itself in many ways. There are also secondary harms. What does that mean? You have to spend large amounts of money to buy the very poison that harms you. This money, what is it? It is what your whole family depends on to live. You spend it, buy poison, harm yourself, and destroy your whole family. This is a secondary harm. This kind of poison, everyone in the world knows it. All over the world, they try to stop these drug dealers. Yet this problem still cannot be solved. Because those who crave this kind of poison, Even if it costs them their lives, they still want it. So the profit becomes enormous. Those who are willing to provide it, who grow and produce these drugs all day, they will satisfy this kind of self-destructive demand and take large amounts of money from them. Because for this kind of self-destruction, you have to spend money to harm yourself. Do you understand?
Yes, Shifu.
So, just like this kind of poison, now in this world, there has appeared a kind of political poison. What poison is it? It is the communist poison, Marxism. This communist poison, this China poison, this poison of the Chinese Communist Party, has made countries like the United States and the European Union, which were once very strong, become more and more dependent on it. And once you become dependent, what happens? You cannot pull yourself out at all. You cannot get out. Tell me, why is it that when leaders of the EU come into power, they rush to China to meet the leaders of these evil communist organizations? Why?
They can't break away anymore. They are already deeply tied together.
No, it has nothing to do with profit. Nothing to do with profit. They need this kind of economic poison from China. If they cannot get that fixed for even a while, they cannot hold up this body. The politics of that country cannot go on. Do you understand?
Yes, I understand, Shifu.
Also, the more economic dealings you have with the Communist Party, the more products you take in, the weaker your social structure and your social welfare will become. The more you accept communist investment, the more your country will decline. In fact, many of them know that they should not deal with this communist state, this evil political group, or have trade relations with it. But they have no way out. They would rather give up the future happiness of their country and its future development, even risk everything, risk their country just to continue dealing with them. Look now, how many presidents and prime ministers criticize the Communist Party when they take office, yet still end up bowing, lowering themselves, even going down on their knees just to get this poison. Do you understand?
Yes, I understand, Shifu.
Isn't that so? Look at the current US president. He still has to go and meet them. Put it this way. The Communist Party openly supports Russia against Ukraine, supports Iran against the United States, yet the US president still has to go and ask them. Isn't that the case? The United States has money, but do you know where its inflation comes from?
No, I don't, Shifu.
It comes from the Communist Party. You are already weakening, and the EU is the same. This is what it means, that at this stage of the world, this kind of evil communist regime must be eliminated. It cannot be allowed to continue to exist. I, Monk Dishen, am giving this as the final discourse to everyone. Even if they hear this, they may still not be able to solve it. They may still have to kneel to the Communist Party. Why? Tell me.
Because they are already addicted to it. They cannot leave it.
Exactly. You cannot escape it. To escape this, the whole world must learn from Shifu's teachings. I tell you, we quit. We stop dealing with them. Do you understand?
Yes, I understand, Shifu.
Do you understand now? Yingshu, who is online, do you understand?
I understand, Shifu.
This kind of poison they export makes it impossible for every country to break free. Look at Germany as an example. Their own companies, good companies, Mercedes-Benz, BMW, even their banks can be sold to the Communist Party. Little by little, this poison erodes Germany. Germany, its will is gone. Do you understand? What has it become? A nation without its will. As soon as communist investment comes in, they suddenly stand up again. Why? Because they have taken the poison again. Do you understand? The United States is the same. You cannot give up this communist market. It gives you cheap goods. I won't belabor these points. Even people like Rubio understand this. But even if they understand, they still cannot break free. This is the reality of this communist poison. If you could break free from it, if Europe and the United States could break free, I dare say within 5 years, they would stand up again, become strong again. Do you understand? Just stop taking the drug and see if you could grow strong again in 5 years. I do not need them to repay me for these teachings. Do I need their repayment? I never intended to ask for anything. Maybe after I pass away, hundreds of years later, they will build memorial halls, offer flowers, give a Nobel Prize, and place it there. Do you understand?
I understand, Shifu.
This is a reality the whole world must understand. What reality? The reality is that the Communist Party's economic trade is a poison harming the world. This must be understood. When they discover how the Communist Party treats me, they will wake up. But even if they wake up, they may still not be able to break free. This depends on the people of the world. Fatong, think about it. What kind of people are we? Yet they hunt us every day and say all kinds of things about Shifu. They hurl every kind of ugly accusation at me. I have done everything I can for all countries so that their people can live well, so that their countries can become strong. Haven't I?
Yes, Shifu.
Yet, I have never asked them for a single penny. Even if I talk about money now, it is only to provoke them a little. What would I do with money? Isn't money just printed paper? Money is something people need in society, something that drives development. What do I need it for? As long as I have food, water, and a place to live, that is enough. I have far more than just food, water, and shelter, don't I? And more than that, I also have you, my disciples. That is already enough. Fatong, what are your thoughts?
Shifu, they really should see clearly, just as you said, to recognize its true nature.
But even if they recognize it, they might not be able to get off it. Just look at the British Prime Minister visiting there. He goes there acting even lower than a grandson. Do you understand?
Yes, Shifu.
All right. I will not continue this teaching. Remember, you must spread this final teaching, this final warning to the nations of the world, so that they may gain a new beginning. Do you understand?
I understand, Shifu.
Good, good. We will leave it at that. Amitabha.
Amitabha.
My
My respects to Shifu.
Thank you, Shifu.
Thank you, Shifu.